All across the world, ancient ruins whisper stories of civilizations that time has tried to erase. Massive stone cities built with impossible precision, mysterious carvings that defy explanation, and abandoned temples that raise more questions than answers. Today, we will uncover 7 of the most mysterious ruins ever discovered. Places where history and myth collide, and where the truth may be stranger than fiction. Machu Picchu. The lost city of the Incas high in the mist-covered mountains of Peru lies one of the most breathtaking and puzzling ruins in the world. Machu Picchu. Built by the Inca civilization in the 15th century, this lost city of the Incas was hidden from the outside world for centuries until it was rediscovered by Hiram Bingham in 1911. But even today, despite countless studies and excavations, many questions remain unanswered. Machu Picchu is an architectural wonder. The stone structures are constructed with such precision that not even a blade of grass can fit between the massive stones. Yet the Incas built all of this without the use of modern tools, mortar, or even the wheel. How did they manage to transport and position stones weighing several tons up steep mountain slopes? The techniques remain a mystery. Some archaeologists believe Machu Picchu served as a royal estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, while others think it may have been a religious sanctuary or even an astronomical observatory. The alignment of certain structures with celestial events suggests that the Incas possessed advanced knowledge of astronomy. The Intihuatana stone, often called the hitching post of the sun, was likely used to track the solstices. For the Incas, astronomy was not just science. It was deeply tied to their spirituality and agricultural calendar. Yet, one of the most intriguing mysteries is why the city was abandoned. Despite its grandeur, Machu Picchu was left deserted by the time Spanish conquistadors arrived in Peru. No historical record explains why. Was it due to disease, conflict, or perhaps a strategic retreat? Some theorists suggest more mystical explanations, linking the city to ancient energy lines or even extraterrestrial influence. What is certain, however, is that Machu Picchu's secrets continue to captivate explorers, historians, and tourists alike. It is a place where history meets legend, and where every stone seems to hold a silent story, waiting to be told. Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest temple. In the rolling hills of southeastern Turkey lies a site that has completely rewritten what we thought we knew about the dawn of civilization. Göbekli Tepe. At first glance, it may look like nothing more than a collection of weathered stones arranged in circles. But when archaeologists began studying it in the 1990s, they realized they had uncovered something extraordinary. Göbekli Tepe dates back to around 9600 BCE, making it more than 11,000 years old. To put that into perspective, it predates the Egyptian pyramids by 7,000 years and even comes before the invention of writing, agriculture, and the wheel. This raises a profound question. How could hunter-gatherer societies, which supposedly lived in small, nomadic groups, have built something so complex and monumental? The site consists of massive T-shaped stone pillars arranged in circles. Some of the stones weigh up to 20 tons, yet they were quarried, carved, and transported without the aid of advanced tools. Many of these pillars are decorated with intricate carvings of animals, lions, snakes, vultures, and wild boars, suggesting a symbolic or ritual purpose. Some researchers believe these carvings represent mythological or spiritual beliefs, making Göbekli Tepe the world's first known temple. What makes this even more mysterious is that the site was deliberately buried around 8000 BCE. The reason why remains unknown. Was it a ritual closure? Did the builders intend to preserve it for future generations? Or was there some catastrophe that forced its abandonment? The deliberate burial preserved the site for thousands of years, almost as though someone wanted to ensure it would survive into the future. The discovery of Göbekli Tepe challenges everything we thought we knew about early humanity. For decades, Scholars believed that religion and monumental architecture emerged only after agriculture allowed humans to settle down. But Göbekli Tepe flips this idea on its head. Here, it seems that spirituality and the construction of temples may have come first, possibly even inspiring the development of farming as people gathered in larger communities to sustain the builders. Of course, with such mysteries, fringe theories abound. Some suggest that Göbekli Tepe was built with the help of an advanced, forgotten civilization, or even extraterrestrials, because its scale and sophistication seem far beyond what hunter-gatherers should have been capable of. Others argue it was an ancient observatory, aligned with constellations and recording celestial events. Regardless of the interpretation, Göbekli Tepe stands as one of the greatest enigmas of the ancient world. It proves that humanity's story is far older and far more complex than we once imagined. It leaves us with haunting questions. Who exactly built it? Why did they create it? And why did they bury it so carefully, as if protecting its secrets for a distant future, our present? The Nazca Lines, messages to the gods, stretching across the arid plains of southern Peru, are some of the most enigmatic creations ever made by human hands, the Nazca Lines. From the ground they appear as simple trenches etched into the desert floor. But from the sky they form giant geoglyphs, sprawling designs of animals, plants, geometric shapes, and even humanoid figures, some stretching hundreds of feet across. These massive earthworks were first brought to worldwide attention in the 1920s when airplanes flew over the Nazca Desert. The sight astonished researchers. Giant images of a hummingbird, a spider, a monkey, and countless geometric lines that seemed to go on forever. How could ancient people, living nearly 2,000 years ago, have created something that can only truly be seen from the air? Archaeologists believe the Nazca Lines were made by scraping away the reddish-brown surface of the desert to reveal the lighter soil beneath. The arid climate of the region has preserved the lines remarkably well. But while the how of their construction is understood, the why remains an enduring mystery. Some scholars argue that the lines were connected to astronomy. Certain lines align with the solstices and other celestial events, suggesting that the Nazca may have used them as a giant calendar. Others propose they were ritual pathways, walked during religious ceremonies to honor the gods. Still others believe the geoglyphs were meant as offerings to deities who controlled water and fertility, critical resources in such a dry environment. But not all theories are so conventional. Because the figures can only be fully appreciated from above, some have speculated that they were messages to the gods, or perhaps even to visitors from the sky. Popularized by authors like Erich von Däniken, the idea of the Nazca Lines as landing strips for ancient astronauts has captivated imaginations worldwide. While mainstream archaeologists dismiss this notion, it remains one of the most enduring alternative explanations. Adding to the mystery is the sheer scale and precision of the lines. Without aerial technology, how did the Nazca people maintain such perfect proportions across such massive distances? Experiments have shown that with careful planning, ropes, stakes, and basic surveying, it is possible. But this still does not fully explain the purpose behind these monumental efforts. Why would a society invest so much labor in images they themselves could never view in full? Today, the Nazca Lines remain both a UNESCO World Heritage Site and an unsolved puzzle. They remind us that ancient people were capable of extraordinary achievements, often motivated by beliefs and purposes we struggle to comprehend. Whether they were astronomical tools, sacred pathways, or messages to the heavens, they continue to inspire wonder and curiosity. Proof that not all mysteries of the past can be easily solved. Puma Punku. The ruins that should not exist. Deep in the Bolivian highlands, near the more famous site of Tiwanaku, lies one of the most baffling sets of ruins on Earth. Puma Punku. To the untrained eye, It looks like a scattering of massive stone blocks, toppled and broken across the plateau. But upon closer inspection, these ruins reveal something astonishing. Engineering so precise that many argue it should not have been possible for the people of the time. The stones of Puma Punku are enormous. Some weigh more than 100 tons, yet they were somehow quarried miles away and transported across rough terrain without the use of wheels or advanced machinery. But even more incredible is the craftsmanship. The stones are cut with such laser-like precision that they fit together seamlessly, almost like pieces of a giant three-dimensional puzzle. Many of them feature perfect right angles, drilled holes, and interlocking grooves, features that even today would require specialized tools to replicate. Mainstream archaeologists believe the builders were part of the Tiwanaku culture, which thrived around 1,000 years ago. But critics argue that such a date does not make sense. How could a pre-Columbian society without metal tools or writing achieve such advanced engineering? To skeptics, Puma Punku appears centuries, perhaps millennia, ahead of its time. Some suggest that the stones were cut using lost techniques, perhaps involving unknown methods of softening stone. Others go further, claiming the site is evidence of advanced civilizations predating Tiwanaku, or even proof of extraterrestrial intervention. The perfect cuts and interlocking designs are often cited as beyond the capabilities of ancient technology, sparking endless debate between archaeologists and alternative historians. Adding to the enigma, the site does not resemble a traditional city or temple. It is unclear what Puma Punku's purpose actually was. Some theorists argue it may have been a ceremonial complex aligned with the stars. Others think it could have been a landing platform, though such ideas remain speculative. What is undeniable, however, is that Puma Punku does not fit neatly into our conventional timeline of history. Even today, as archaeologists and engineers examine the stones, they struggle to explain how such precise construction was achieved with the tools believed to be available at the time. Was Puma Punku evidence of an advanced but forgotten culture? Or does it point to knowledge and abilities we still cannot fully comprehend? The mystery of Puma Punku lies not just in its ruins, but in the challenge it presents to our understanding of human history. It forces us to ask, are we missing an entire chapter of civilization's story? One where ancient builders possessed skills we have only begun to rediscover? Nan Madol, the Venice of the Pacific. Far out in the Pacific Ocean, on the island of Pohnpei in Micronesia, lies a ruined city unlike any other, Nan Madol. Sometimes called the Venice of the Pacific, this mysterious site consists of more than 90 artificial islets connected by a network of canals. What makes it extraordinary is not just its scale, but the fact that it was built on top of a coral reef, using enormous basalt stones stacked like giant logs. The construction of Nan Madol defies simple explanation. Some of the basalt columns weigh up to 50 tons each, yet they were somehow transported across the island and carefully placed to form towering walls, platforms, and enclosures. The city stretches across 200 acres, a feat of engineering that seems far beyond the capabilities of the island's small population. How did the builders manage it without metal tools, wheels, or beasts of burden? Archaeologists believe Nan Madol was built by the Saudeleur dynasty around the 13th century. According to oral traditions, however, the founders were two brothers who arrived from another land, bringing with them supernatural powers that allowed them to move the massive stones. Some legends claim the builders used magic or even levitation to transport the basalt columns into place. The layout of Nan Madol suggests it was a political and ceremonial center. The ruling elite lived within its walls, while commoners were forbidden to settle inside. Its canals allowed canoes to pass through the city, giving it a resemblance to Venice, though on a much smaller and more isolated scale. The site may have served as both a fortress and a religious hub, with areas dedicated to rituals, burials, and governance. Yet the city's abandonment is as mysterious as its construction. By the time Europeans arrived in the 16th century, Nan Madol had been largely deserted. Local legends speak of tyranny, curses, and the wrath of the gods. Some even say that the Sodalur rulers fell because they angered the spirits by their cruelty, leaving the city cursed ever since. Modern researchers are still baffled by Nan Madol. The logistics of transporting and stacking such enormous stones in such a remote location are staggering. Some believe it may have been part of a larger lost Pacific civilization, perhaps even tied to myths of the legendary continent of Lemuria or Mu. Whatever the truth, Nan Madol stands as one of the strangest and most haunting ruins on Earth. A city built upon the sea, abandoned to the elements and still echoing with the mysteries of its past. Angkor Wat, a city of the gods. Deep within the Cambodian jungle stands one of the most breathtaking and enigmatic ruins on Earth, Angkor Wat. Today, it is recognized as the world's largest religious monument, but its sheer scale, intricate design, and astronomical alignments leave scholars questioning how and why it was built. Constructed in the early 12th century by King Suryavarman II of the Khmer Empire, Angkor Wat was originally dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu. Later, it became a Buddhist temple, and it remains a sacred site to this day. What astonishes archaeologists is not just the grandeur of the temple, but the engineering feats required to bring it into existence. The entire complex covers more than 400 acres, with towering spires that rise into the sky, and walls decorated with over 3,000 divine figures carved in meticulous detail. Its central tower soars nearly 70 meters high, representing the mythical Mount Meru, the cosmic mountain said to be the dwelling place of the gods. The temple's moats, galleries, and bas-reliefs are aligned with incredible precision, echoing both spiritual beliefs and celestial events. One of Angkor Wat's greatest mysteries is its orientation. Unlike most Khmer temples, which face east, Angkor Wat faces west. Scholars are divided on why. Some believe it was designed as a funerary temple for the king, with the west symbolizing death. Others argue the orientation reflects complex astronomical calculations, linking the temple to solstices, equinoxes, and planetary cycles. Equally baffling is the sheer volume of material used in its construction. Millions of sandstone blocks, some weighing up to 1.5 tons each, were quarried nearly 50 kilometers away and somehow transported to the site. Without advanced machinery, how did ancient builders achieve this monumental feat? Some suggest a vast system of canals was used to float the stones, while others believe innovative wooden sledges and elephant labor made it possible. Legends, however, tell a different story. Local myths claim that Angkor Wat was built not by men but by gods themselves. One tale says it was constructed overnight by divine architects, explaining the near mythical perfection of its design. Such legends only add to its aura of mystery. By the 15th century, after centuries of grandeur, Angkor Wat and much of the Khmer Empire had fallen into decline. Wars, invasions, and changing climates led to its abandonment. The jungle reclaimed it, swallowing towers and walls beneath thick vegetation until rediscovery by explorers centuries later. Today, Angkor Wat is both a national symbol of Cambodia and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But despite decades of research, many questions remain unanswered. Why was it aligned to the west? What knowledge of astronomy guided its builders? And how did a civilization without modern tools create a structure so precise that even satellites confirm its celestial connections? Angkor Wat is more than a ruin. It is a gateway to a forgotten age when myth, religion, and science merged seamlessly. It whispers of a time when humans believed they could mirror the heavens on Earth.